When it comes to negotiating with the terrorist government of Iran, Trump's all over the lot. One day he sounds tough, the next day he's backing off. And now, all of a sudden, we find out that Witkoff and Rubio are negotiating a secret side deal with Iran. What kind of bull is this? They're going to sound tough in public and then have a side deal that lets Iran get away with everything? That's outrageous. We need to make that side deal public.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer thinks it's actually a great idea to goad the Trump administration into war with Iran instead of signing a new nuclear deal to prevent a military conflict. I don't really understand what's left to support within the Democratic Party. Why are you trying to encourage Trump or discourage Trump from signing a nuclear deal? Now look, Schumer was responding to reporting from Axios indicating that the Trump administration is in fact considering allowing Iran to enrich small quantities of uranium, or more importantly, a new nuclear deal that would bring small amounts of enriched uranium into Iran for their energy needs. And that would prevent them from building a nuclear weapon, but would obviously help them with their energy needs. Now, that deal would be similar to the Iran nuclear deal that former President Barack Obama managed to accomplish back in 2015 in his second term. That deal, as we all know, was ripped up by President Donald Trump in his first term. Since then, Iran has upped its uranium enrichment to around 60%, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. Uranium that is enriched to 90% is considered to be weapons grade. So obviously time is of the essence. It's important to enter a deal to prevent the construction of these disastrous weapons. And wow, isn't that shocking that as soon as you rip up the Iran nuclear deal, Iran starts moving toward building a nuclear weapon. Now, you think that Schumer would want to pursue diplomatic means by re-entering a new nuclear deal to prevent a possible war with Iran. In fact, that was something that Biden had even campaigned on back in 2020. Take a look.
I understand what's at stake and understand the consequences of failing to act. That's why, as president, I'd renew our commitment to arms control for a new era. The historic Iran nuclear deal we negotiated blocked Iran from gaining nuclear weapons, with inspectors on the ground, international inspectors confirming that the agreement was being kept. Yet Trump cast it aside, prompting Iran to restart its nuclear program, become more provocative, and raising the risk of another disastrous war in the region. If Tehran returns to compliance with the deal, I would rejoin the agreement and work with our allies to strengthen and extend it, while more effectively pushing back against Iran's destabilizing activities, which under the agreement we were allowed to do and we had partners to do with us.
So Biden lied, that's what he said on the campaign trail. Once he became president, he did no such thing. And it probably had to do with the fact that Israel pressured him to avoid re-entering a nuclear deal. Israeli officials have also made clear that they intend to raise concerns about restoring the JCPOA. That was the original Iran nuclear deal. Israeli news outlets reported that Yoshi Cohen, chief of Mossad, will travel to Washington and press Biden to make changes to the JCPOA. Well, changes didn't even need to be made because we didn't re-enter a new nuclear deal with Iran. And now things have devolved so severely that the Democratic Party is now trying to, I guess, discourage Trump from pursuing diplomatic means. Take a look.
Yesterday, I called out President Trump for, on the one hand, telling the public his goal is to fully dismantle Iran's nuclear facilities, but then on the other hand, secretly negotiating a side deal that will allow the Iranian regime to keep enriching. Well, it looks like we got his attention, because he followed up by denying this report in an all-caps tweet storm. The old saying is, trust but verify. In this case, Congress must verify. The administration must clarify what they might be hiding from the American people in this secret side deal. Steve Witkoff and those negotiating this deal should testify before Congress and answer a simple question. Is there a secret side deal that will allow the Iranian regime to continue enriching uranium and that empowers the regime's nefarious activity, or not?
In other words, Schumer is literally taking credit for Trump's about face, his statement just yesterday on Truth Social after backlash from neocons, which of course want to go to war with Iran. He wrote, "The auto pen should have stopped Iran a long time ago from enriching. Under our potential agreement, we will not allow any enrichment of uranium."
That's the neocon position.
That's the neocon position, but Schumer is taking credit for pushing Trump in this getting closer to war with Iran direction.
Well, that's because he does deserve credit, but in an ironic way, which we'll get to in a second. So first, we're doing a poll in the live chat here because we've got a diverse audience. I'm curious if anyone is going to vote in the opposite direction here. Should the administration sign a nuclear deal with Iran? 10% say no. Interesting. But 90% say the logical thing. Of course we should, right? Why are we going to war with Iran?
For the 10% who say no, I hope you're enlisted and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but they're more likely to be Israelis who want us to enlist.
I hope you're enlisted and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. Americans shouldn't be fighting a war on behalf of Israel.
Okay, so I'm going to get to that as well. So why do we say from time to time that Democrats are liars? I don't mean the voters, I mean the politicians, the leaders, because they're liars. So what Trump is considering doing. Before that True Social post that Anna read you, Axios had the story. We were reporting in the middle of the show yesterday that he was thinking of doing this deal with Iran. That's why Schumer and the neocons are flipping out, right? So that deal is very similar to the Obama deal, the deal that Joe Biden said he was going to get back into, but he was a liar and he didn't get back in that deal, and there's no excuse for it. He barely even tried. You see Trump trying here with all of its problems, and he goes back to the neocon position, but at least you see him trying. Biden didn't try at all. Why? It's amazing, they just say it. I mean, you saw it in the news story there. The head of Mossad, the secret intelligence group, like the CIA of Israel, went into, first of all, isn't that outrageous?
It is outrageous, yes.
Like imagine if like, oh, hey, France is going to make a deal, but the head of the CIA goes and talks to their leader, and then all of a sudden they change their position. You'd be like, what did the CIA say to Macron? That seems kind of like, whoa, we must have some stuff on Macron there to get him to change his position entirely. But here, since Israel controls everything and no one is allowed to question them without getting smeared in America, they could just say it in public. Oh yeah. Our head of Mossad went and told Joe Biden who's in charge. Not him, Mossad is in charge. And no, you're not going to go back into that Obama deal, even though you said you were going to. Shut up and do as Israel tells you, okay? So you're seeing it with your own eyes. Then Chuck Schumer, aren't you thrilled that he's going to go back into a deal that is similar to Obama's? That's what you all wanted. You said you wanted it, right? Now all of a sudden Chuck Schumer, no. Oh, this is a terrible deal with Iran, the terrorists. We must fight that war on behalf of Israel. Oh. I didn't mean on behalf of Israel. On behalf of America, for what? Which Americans want it? What are we gonna get out of a war with Iran?
Listen.
Other than trillions of dollars we're gonna spend like we did in Iraq and tens of thousands of Americans dead. For what? For what? So because Israel decides that Iran is their #1 enemy and they're gonna make our intensely corrupt Democratic and Republican politicians do exactly as they're told. So that's why when Schumer says we got Trump to change and go back into not doing the deal with Iran, he doesn't mean we as in Democrats. Trump couldn't give a rat's ass what Democrats think. He means we as in the Israeli lobby. And the Israeli lobby showed we're in charge. And there's another layer to this, Anna, too. They keep talking about how it's a secret side deal. First of all, every peace negotiation is secret until you have a deal. So what does it mean that it's secret? They're saying it's secret from Israel, not from the public. They're saying, this is a side deal. Wait, why is it a side deal? It's us and Iran, the two major powers here in this particular case, right? They're saying, no, how dare you keep it a secret from Israel? And how dare you not involve Israel in this deal? Israel decides what deal America makes. And that's what Democrats like Schumer and Biden say. That's now Trump has switched his position. And he's back to, yes, sir, Netanyahu, sir. Yeah, of course, sir. Did the head of Mossad come? Did the head of Mossad come? No one in America wants this war. The only entity that wants this war is Israel. So if we go to war, I'm telling you ahead of time, Israel pushed America into this war. That is 100% what they want, and now we're gonna see how much they control our politicians.
We're gonna see, look, I already know the extent to which the Israeli government has influence over our government. The question is, do they have the same stranglehold on Donald Trump, who's got more ego than other politicians?
Yes.
And I would like to believe that his pride wouldn't allow him to be publicly dog-walked and humiliated the way that Biden was. But so far, he has been, with one exception, which was making a deal with Hamas to release that one American hostage, and doing so without the inclusion of Israel.
No, there was the Houthi.
And the Houthi, yes,
and
correct.
And Israel already commanded him to attack Iran.
That's right.
And he didn't yet.
Trump, this is where, in my opinion, I'm seeing some positive developments, right? Don't get dog walked and force American soldiers to engage in a war on behalf of Israel. We'll wait and see what happens, but I actually think it is a good thing that they're, based on some reporting, pursuing diplomatic means to prevent a war with Iran. So final thing I'll say about this. Look, I've already given up on Democrats like Chuck Schumer, which is why he doesn't trigger me. I already know he's trash, okay? But the one contribution I'll make in terms of commentary on this is, there are a lot of rumors about AOC potentially running for president, which I personally think is insane. I think it's premature. I don't think she should do that. Please, for the love of God, primary Chuck Schumer in the Senate. She's not fantastic on foreign policy, but she's better than this.
Way better, not close. I'll take AOC over Chuck Schumer any day. On issues like this and many other issues. Schumer is just worse for the donors, and it's not just Israel, it's pharma, oil, anyone can buy Chuck Schumer. But to be fair to Chuck Schumer, anyone can buy 90% of our politicians. All right, my last 2 points are, look guys, remember this, the reason why I'm so adamant about this is because there's no downside to this deal. You end their military nuclear program so they can't have nukes, and we don't go to war. Where's the downside? There's no downside, right? The only downside is Israel wants us to attack for them, so they don't have to risk their soldiers and they don't have to use their money. So they want to make us do it. But America has zero upside. And finally, MAGA, let me ask you this. So you see us criticizing Democrats like Schumer and Biden very, harshly because we're honest. Are you gonna do likewise for Trump? Or are you gonna be a good little boy? And if Trump goes with the neocon position because he got more campaign checks and more deals and got seduced by some insane, ludicrous Trump Riviera idea, because God, that is so stupid. Are you gonna go back and go, oh yes, we love war, woohoo, yay, let's go bomb Iran for Israel, because Daddy Trump told us. I don't know, the jury's out. You're gonna make that decision, and I'm very curious to see how that turns out. But so far, Trump hasn't made the final decision. So if he makes the right decision, I give him all the credit in the world, and the left can cry all they want about it. I don't want that war. That war's a disaster, okay? If he goes to the neocon position, then he's a bitch. And let's see if MAGA's honest about it. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.